Hey, welcome back to another Wheel of Time video. This is part 4 in the 5 Minutes in Heaven series, in which I am talking with best-selling science fiction and romance author Bree, who's written many, many books, including her most recent Mercenary Librarian series, as well as Allie, who's one of the co-hosts of the Wheel Takes podcast, as well as being a creative executive at a production company, meaning for her job, she reads scripts all day. And basically anything before the filming starts that has to do with the script, that is in her purview. And the reason I wanted to talk to two people who know about writing and story creation, and specifically the area of television, is because of the topic of this series, which is based on a series of panels that I went to see when I was at WoTCon. WoTCon being a Wheel of Time convention, great con, in the summer. And the premise of the panels was, if you could add 5 minutes to each of the Wheel of Time TV show episodes, what would you add? Rules being you can't cut anything and you can't add anything that the show didn't have access to. And, so that is the premise that we are going with. As far as spoiler warnings are concerned, Allie, as I mentioned, is one of the co-hosts of the Wheel Takes podcast. She's a first-time reader. She has not read, as of the recording of this video, past the first few chapters of A Crown of Swords. So if you've read that far in the series and you've watched the first season of the television show, you're good to go. In this video, we're going to be talking about episodes 6 and 7. So let's get into it.
Let's be nerdy, babe. Let's be nerdy, let's be nerdy. Let's be nerdy, babe. Let's be nerdy, babe. Let's be nerdy, let's be nerdy, babe.
I do have some stuff for 6, though, so I was like...
Okay, good, because I have 2 notes for episode 6. First one is, forgot to take notes because I was just enjoying it. Second note is, more kissing. That's the second note is. And that more kissing is just to yell at the people in my comments who are like, they added a sex scene. No, they didn't. Do people not know what sex is? They kissed once. It's one kiss. It's like one kiss. That's not
more kissing.
Sex. Because there's no sex. We don't see
it's
any
an implied sex scene. But yes.
It is an implied sex scene, but it's a kissing scene smashed to black.
Yeah.
We call that fade to black in the romance community. Like, you close door. We'll either call it fade to black or closed door, which basically means you close the door on the readers and they don't get to see the sex.
Yeah. But the idea of saying they added a sex scene into the show.
Oh, people were.
That doesn't even make it are you? There's implied sex in the books. You do know
everywhere.
That, right?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All over the place. It's implied that Maureen and Swan did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Several times. New Spring is so queer.
No, it's platonic tickle fights in bed with your best friend.
Platonic and embarrassing caresses, I believe, is also used.
And everyone feels the need to comment on that relationship and how close they are. They're just best friends. I don't know. I'm like, that relationship was queer as hell. And also Robert Jordan confirmed that it was queer.
Yes. It is fully canon. That's my entire notes for episode 6. Just more kissing.
More kissing. Yeah. My favorite thing about episode 6 was we had our friend Nathan was watching it. And he goes, I feel like that cold open was just to disguise the fact that Swan is a total fascist. And at first, because of that scene where she's dressing down Maureen and everything. And then a couple minutes, I was like, oh, and then a couple minutes later he goes, oh, never mind. This is delightful and sapphic sunshine.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
Hey, I think I've told Bree, have I told you my theory about that scene, Allie?
No, what is it?
Okay, just with the previously on, they showed Leandrin touching Maureen's face. And I literally, my brain went, there's no reason to show that unless this episode is gay. So I was literally gay shit, looking for gay shit.
Gay shit.
The minute the episode starts and we see Moraine from behind and Swan's walking in and you see Moraine's shoulders, I was like, sploosh! She is horny as hell right now because that's her girlfriend just walked in the room. She can't think. So that was my filter for watching that whole scene. So when Swan's trying to tell me why you're on all of these travels and Moraine can't answer. Now, everybody else has much more logical reasons, and everybody else is probably right. But my brain, the first time I watched this, she can't think. She's too horny. Her girlfriend is up there looking fire, and she's trying to think, and all she's just opening the booty call to Rangriel. Like that's all she's
Yeah.
thinking about right there.
As someone who was in a long distance relationship for a long time, that tracks. That does make sense.
Yeah. She can't game of houses because of what's happening in her pants. It's impossible to game of houses when your pants are on fire.
I like the more kissing idea. I think, maybe more of Egwene and Perrin. And how Moraine figures out that they're there. Or I guess.
Okay.
How does Moraine figure out that they're there? I want.
We know how she figures out how they're there. She gets the yellow flower in her towel while she's in the bath.
Right.
Yes, clever.
I think this would have been a good episode to introduce the concept of Angreal, if possible.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it gets introduced really hurried in a really hurried manner in episode 8. We have a little more time here, and now we have 5 extra minutes. I think it would have been great to talk about Angreal in some way. Whether it's like they needed it to. If they needed to heal Matt, I think that would have been good, because I feel like I don't think he's fully healed.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's what they were doing with that.
In Eye of the World, she does something that doesn't fully heal him.
Yeah.
So, I feel like maybe but she knows he's not fully healed in Eye of the World in the book. I'm not sure in the show if she thinks he is or not, but I don't think she sent the Red Aja after him because she thinks he's all chill and fine.
Yeah.
So.
I think ultimately it could come out that she did that as he's sick, he's going to need, more than just me. Mm-hmm. And now he doesn't need to be a secret necessarily because he's not the one.
Yeah.
So, that could be her ulterior motive, is obviously they're going to figure out very quickly he's not a man who can channel.
Mm-hmm.
But he will need extreme medical help.
Yes.
But I think that would have been a good time to potentially introduce that, because it felt like healing, we were supposed to think he was healed or something, and that it felt almost a little too easy. Because she was like, "You stupid boy," and then just kind of pulls it out of him.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to see her kind of being like, "I need extra help with this," or something like that.
Do you have any thoughts on this one, Brie?
I do. Okay. I have a scene.
Ooh, scene pitch, go.
I think that we should show Lan going to fetch Nynaeve, because I would like a chance for them to discuss Steppen. I would like a chance for Nynaeve to be furious because she doesn't think the tower did enough to help him or protect him. I think that this is a good way to layer in, both make it clear to the audience that Lan can say straight up that there's no way to save a warder once his Aes Sedai dies. It almost never happens. And that introduces some delicious stress between the two of them and makes her hate Moraine even more, because now if anything happens to Moraine, poof.
The man, yeah.
Yeah, this is I think that we could really just drive that home with some wonderful romance, and also really give Nynaeve some amped up anger at the tower before she goes in to see Swan. She's coming in hot thinking that they just killed Steppen and they're going to take out Lan through their negligent weird magic too.
Yeah.
So give her some, and then also they can just make eyes at each other. They both are very good at that.
Well, and then it can be a moment of why do I care so much?
Yes.
Why do I care so much? Because I do think that they could. He goes from 0 to I'll hate the man. Not 0, but it does feel a little bit sudden when he says it. So I definitely think maybe when we have the 5 extra minutes threading through that relationship even more and seeing how hard they're falling for each other so fast, even though they're trying not to.
I can't believe I didn't think of that. I just always want more Lan and Nynaeve. So absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think the aftermath of Steppen is we see her crying, and I think that the end of episode 5 is so well done, because they show us Moraine crying because of the bond, and then they show us Nynaeve crying, and she doesn't have the bond, she just cares about him that much. So I think that we could just take that a little bit deeper and make her exactly like Allie said, question why she cares so much that Lan is tied into this dangerous bond with this woman.
Yeah.
So, and And the other thing, my little one, is like, I know that they filmed more of that scene with Moraine and Loyal and like the waygates and the maps and everything. I think I want that back. Just like a little bit more of why they're going to get him.
Yeah.
Yes. Why does give Loyal more to do? Why does Loyal matter? Why do they need him?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Yeah.
What's an Ogier? A little more of that.
Yeah,
just,
a little bit
just
more.
A little more.
I feel like also what could have been good at some point in these Aes Sedai episodes with Loyal is I want Loyal to tell us what Ta'Viren is.
Yes.
I want Loyal to tell us what Ta'Viren is, because I feel like, and I'm not sure what the scene is of where it's motivated. Maybe it's after Matt gets healed by the dagger or something, but we talk about what Ta'Viren is. We say Ta'Viren, the word Ta'Viren at the beginning. We never elaborate what that means.
Yeah. Well, no, Fane sort of focal points of the pattern, he says, or something like that.
Oh yeah, he does do that. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's so much going on in that scene that I feel like you almost blink and you miss it. So
that's it. Yeah,
maybe one more, just kind of for those of us who missed it, like apparently I did. Something just a little like, this is what Ta'Viren is, really fast, or like maybe because he waxes poetic a lot, like a little waxing poetic about what Ta'Viren is, even if it's in like the background.
And that would at least give us that rule that I learned from you, Ali, in your podcast about the rule of 3, because we've heard in this season we hear Ta'Viren twice, I think. No, wait, does Moraine use the word Ta'Viren when she talks to Swan about? I don't think she says. She says potential dragons, but I don't think she calls them Ta'Viren. Yeah. Anyway, but like we would have had Moraine say Ta'Viren in episode 1, and then Loyal could say Ta'Viren, and then Fane says Ta'Viren
in a more middle episode, and then we get a Ta'Viren at the end. Yeah, I think it would. And they have this great device of Loyal just kind of monologuing in the background while they're doing something important. Yeah, totally could have happened in a scene during this time. Yeah. I think, and that could just have been helpful for just a little additional information, because I know like folks like my mom would be always, I kind of need a little bit more of a hammer home on some things. And I do, honestly. I think it took me a really long time to really understand what Ta'Viren was, and Angreal and Terangreal. I hope they really figure out a way to emphasize what the are, because I still don't think I could quite tell you the difference.
There's a couple of words in these books that decades, but then it becomes a problem for me, because once it's in my brain, I think that it's common knowledge, and I use it in regular conversation with people, and then realize that they don't know what Teleron Riad is. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh God.
I just suddenly brought up a made-up word from a fantasy series.
Like, that ubiquitous word.
Yeah, everybody knows what Teleron Riad is. It's been in my life for 30 years.
Yeah. No, I know. My ability to relate to other people has been drastically diminished by this.
You can relate
podcast.
to us.
I can totally relate to all of you. But my ability
ones.
To relate to normies on the street has been severely truncated.
Normies don't matter.
Nah. Who cares?
Let's move on to episode 7. But again, my notes, very very small. I wrote more kissing, but this time Lan and Nynaeve. And then
yes.
More Loyal, because he just disappears.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I want, but he just disappears. He walks into the city and then he's gone. As I said, my notes got less and less as things went on. This is a very tiny thing. This is nowhere near 5 minutes. But there is a scene in episode 7 that where Lan is sitting there eating with his family, and Nynaeve's stalking him like a creepy stalker. And then
stalking.
Yeah, and then like Lan's behind her. And if you watch like reaction shots or reaction videos of people, like they think he teleported. There needs to be a transition shot between those.
Just a little like he's sneaking out.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
People thought what did he just do magic? He's fast.
He's just fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be careful with the men in this, because people will get confused. Because there's only one man. Well, there's a couple, but there's only one that matters, and everyone else is doomed. But yeah, I think I would love to see a little more of a build in that, a little more of a build of like how much Lan can't be with Nynaeve. I guess it wasn't quite clear to me that he's going to like go die in the Blight, and that's his kind of thing. That's what's going to happen. So there's that.
I think that this is he steps forward, she steps forward, and this is where you drop the, are you sure there's no future in this? You know, my destiny is to die, and then she steps forward again, and it's only tonight. This is how you do the
Are you a romance writer by any chance? Are you a romance writer? You're like, I know how to build this time.
I love the stepping forward thing, like as a romance writer, because that is what we call ongoing consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love ongoing consent.
Ongoing consent is fantastic.
They are both opting in multiple times. Every time they step closer to each other, that is them saying, yes, actually. Yes,
we're meeting in the middle on that, kids.
Yes.
We're meeting in the middle.
Yeah. And like when you, not to get on a tangent, but like if you are a person who talks a lot about consent in romance, you get a lot of the pushback of like that you can't make that sexy. Oh. And it's not like handing someone a form. Like it can be. You could probably make that sexy too. Like, I mean,
wasn't that a whole thing in 50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah, but like
you have to sign a big form.
Yeah, you can do that. But like also there are so many ways to indicate ongoing consent. And that was like a beautiful silent yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they were doing right there. At any point, somebody could have stepped back or stopped stepping forward, but there was nobody who wasn't opting in repeatedly in that.
Yeah. Oh,
beautiful.
It was beautiful. I like almost cried. It's like I've been waiting 30 years to see them kiss. It was just like,
right. That's a great nonverbal consent move. Because I know that some people are like, what do I have to ask? And I'm like, well, I mean, you know, there are sexy ways to ask.
I was just gonna say,
there's plenty of sexy ways to ask.
There's plenty of sexy ways.
If you can't figure out a sexy way to ask, you know, go read some romance.
Go look it up. I mean, honestly, there's nothing harder than somebody being like, I really want to kiss you right now. Like, that's an ask. Like, I really want to kiss you. That's an ask. Right? Yeah. So but I love the meet halfway.
I do think though that like it would be perfect to do a sort of, because I was already parsing this as a tropey romance writer, as a this is our end of the world bang. Like,
of course,
if it's the night before you think that you're both gonna die, there's just like rules suspended. You know, but I think that like making that clear, that's when you do there's no future in this, you know. And I don't care. I want it anyway. Yeah. Like I feel like that would set up the next thing, you know, a little bit better the next day.
Because that was one of like, as much as I loved, I mean, this is getting into episode 8, but that is the thing I added in episode 8 was more in that conversation, because in the books, that is the time that he explains to her, oh, I have a pointless quest. I want to go die alone in the Blight. And that's why I can't be with you, because I'm an idiot. And so, like, that is... I
think that they're gonna massage this goal a little bit in the TV show, because it is a little silly. It's like, well, I'm going to go throw myself pointlessly at the Blight for no reason and no gain. And we're like, come on,
the concept of evil. I'm just going to go
You're
throw
a
myself.
little smarter than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go try and attack the concept of evil with a sword.
Yeah. You're not the boys who want to test their mettle against the Blight. Like, that's not you. You're not a dumbass.
Yeah.
I think I would love to see too post-coitally a little more of like because you know in the books Nynaeve proposes to Lan and that's why he goes on that big thing, which you know it's a little like whoa there, you know. that's sudden and a lot.
I had so many conversations with Brie about this, and people were saying, no, they took it's so fast. She fucking proposes. Proposing
like right away.
Is further than sex.
And there's way more build in this show than there is in the books for their relationship, because that to me came out of nowhere, and I shipped everyone.
I still do not know how you
I did not get that one. That is the one where I was like, what?
She
Them?
blushes. She blushes when he compliments her.
I think I just thought he was so old. I would love to see a little moment post-coitally where, like, rather than doing that, because I think what they've done so nicely is rather than Lan, being like, we're not going to be together because of my issue, it's like they mutually have responsibilities that are keeping them apart, which I love.
Yeah.
But I think there could be a moment of kind of like them kind of playing and speculating at what could be that like we could run away together, find a like corner of the earth where we have no responsibilities, and then it's like, but that's not us.
Yeah.
Right. And that can lead into the like, I'll hate the man you choose. But I think there could be just a little bit more build up to that conversation.
Yeah.
A little more like, if Nynaeve's like, well, maybe I don't need to be responsible. Maybe we don't need to be responsible. Maybe we can be completely different people and go and whatever and be happy. And then like the mutual acknowledgement that that's not who they are. Could be good. So that's my proposal for that. Just like a little more like of the post-coital, like, couldn't we be like, don't make them get dressed so fast. Let them live in that moment for a second. Let them live in the endorphins and the happy before the sobering, like, I will hate the man you choose. Give them a sec.
That's what I wanted from that scene. Like, people were laughing at me in the comments of my videos on that because I said I wanted to see more. They're like, oh, Jenny wanted to see them have sex, and that's I didn't actually want to see them have sex, but I wanted.
I mean, I did, but
okay, yes, but no, like I wanted, like I wouldn't have said no, but what I wanted was what we got with Moraine and Swan, of them just lying in bed afterwards. Like that's
that like post-coital moment where it's like you're just all hopped up in endorphins, you're super happy, you can have a moment to yourselves to kind of like fantasize about what could be before we're gonna get dressed. This isn't us. Right?
Because, and I feel like I would like more if Lan told her that this isn't you, then this isn't me. Like her thinking that like maybe that they could have something, and Lan knowing her, and Lan knowing that she could never leave the baby ducklings behind. She could never abandon her people, because I feel like that's the sexiest thing you can do. Like the most romantic and heartbreaking thing is someone knowing you.
Yeah. And letting you go. Right. And going, this isn't
I'm not
right
going
for either of us
I'm not going to be the reason you try to become something you're not. I'm not going to trap you into something that will hurt you.
100%. And it sets up Rand doing the same thing later. In the next episode. I mean, like I think there's a way to do it where it's different for both couples enough as a moment. But I think, if we can add, because we've got the 5 minutes, we can add a little bit more of a breadcrumb earlier on and build up this moment and give us the fantasy of what could be before we kind of go, okay, no, back to business. This isn't who we are. Let's get dressed. Because Nynaeve just goes from like, we just come in on them basically getting dressed. We don't get that second of like the connection between the two of them. So we don't see this breakup speech coming. Like, well, it seems like she's ready to go back to business.
She's literally just angrily braiding hair. Okay.
I have one for 7. So mine is actually like way out there. If you, and I think Denny and I noticed this because we were doing those costume videos with Pez. While they're walking towards the men's bar, they walk past a blacksmith.
Yes.
I need Perrin, well, everybody else is banging because everyone's just like having fun. I need Perrin to go to that blacksmith and have some like finding himself because the wind of intrusive thoughts, and he just had a big fight with Rand about Egwene, and he's all torn up about his wife, which also being in a smithy, which is the place where he worked with his wife. I need him to go have some feels. I need him to go like ask this, because that's what Perrin does in the books when he's really stressed out. He goes and finds a smithy. So I think he should go see if this person needs some help, and he can do some smithing. I mean, wouldn't hate it if we got some blacksmith arm stuff going too. And like have him deal with this this, make somebody compliment him, like show him in his element and working through this. So then when he goes to Egwene the next morning and we're okay, he's in a like place of peace. I feel like we can see that he got himself there by returning to what he is, which is a creator.
Yeah.
And
we actually we've seen Layla blacksmith, but we haven't seen him.
Yeah, we haven't seen him actually doing it, except for in the dream.
Yeah.
And what a opportunity for Loyal, because Loyal, the Ogier are builders. They could have a moment together building something.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. So that is what I really wanted for Perrin to have like a blacksmith moment. The other thing I wanted is when Rand's having his flashbacks of Tam on the road, I need that to be a little bit longer. It goes by fast. I feel like if you don't know exactly what he's flashing back to, you're not going to process what Tam's saying to him. I think we need a little longer story about the chick in the snow and everything. And I mean, you can like connect it to the cold open, but just like another beat or two of that, moment on the road with the tortured confession. I wanted that to be a little bit longer.
I figured out I had a small thing about before really fast. Can I share?
Oh, do it. Yes.
Of course.
Okay. I realized, isn't it a thing? Maybe I'm making this up, that like Two Rivers women, they braid their hair, right? And like after that, pretty much like only their husband sees their hair unbraided.
I don't think they ever say it, but I think it's like implied, because you have to take your hair out at some point.
I feel like Nynaeve could share that, and that's like a good.
I mean, if it's not a thing, I think it could be a thing.
Yeah,
I like it as a thing.
Seems like it could be a thing.
I like anything that adds intimacy.
Maybe I've just editorialized this, but I'm like, I don't know. That could be a way for them to talk about like future things, because it's like, now you've seen my hair unbraided. I mean, this is an intimate relationship. Anyway, sorry, big moment for me. But I love that. I love the idea of fleshing out the that stuff a little more, showcasing too, I think adding in like Rand snapping at people, because we established with Matt that is a thing, and before that he just kind of looks like a jerk and he's like snapping at everyone. So
I don't think they ever tie that in explicitly, but I kept saying like he's doing it after he channels, right? I mean, after he channels, he gets suspicious and snappy. So like I feel like it was on purpose, but we never actually see
it. They didn't, they don't explain that, because in the books, like they explicitly explain it. Although most people don't pick it up the first time, but they explicitly explain.
Yeah, I think they can have Tom in there going, he was moody or whatever. Owen was moody, and then they show like Rand being moody at I mean, honestly, they could showcase the fight between all of them after Masha and Shin. As a moment where Rand gets snappy.
He yells at Moraine. Which I still maintain he refreshed one of those horses. I'm going to die on that hill.
Oh, yeah. And something to re-add back into that episode is Moraine trying to heal Bella and realizing that she's been healed. And then looking at Egwene, but then Rand is snapping afterward.
Yeah.
It was Rand doing it.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, showcase that, because like when they're running, like we could show Rand kind of like trying to guide the horse or whatever, like push the horse. I think those are moments we could have added back in as like, oh look, there was context the whole time, there were clues the whole time. Because I think we only really showed like two things, and one of which we didn't even see. So I think you're right, that could have gone on a little bit longer.
Ooh, I like these. Ooh, okay. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. As I say every single time, this conversation was such a blast. I will say it gets just more and more clear as we get further and further into the conversation, how much better Bree and Allie are at this than me. It's just a lot of me just going, oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow. That was a good idea. Because they are so good at this. They know what stories need, and they are making connections that I would never have thought of. They're both so very smart. I'm so happy that they're my friends. Anyway, let me know, though, what you thought of their ideas, of my pitiful ideas, and what ideas do you have? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my content and you want to support me, I do have a Patreon. It will be linked in the description below. To my patrons, I say it every time, and I mean it every single time. Thank you so, so much. This would be impossible without you. Thank you. And with that, I am going to end this here. So please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
So this could be a scene for that talk about Taviran or something.